Welcome to Santos Brothers Eat, food worth mentioning.
Where Chef Jeff and his brother Kenny talk about their amazing adventures eating and tasting food that is so incredible, they have got to just share it with the world.
My mouth is salivating already.
All right, so this is Kenny Santos for Santos Brothers Eats. As you can see, I'm here with my brother Chef Jeff Santos. Together, we are your favorite Filipino foodies. We got some great food to talk about. Basically, both in the GTA. Super yummy food. What are we going to talk about first, Jeff?
All right, first thing we're going to talk about first is a place, actually, Ken and I both like meat pies, whether they be like with beef or with chicken, but we just like that sort of texture of something hearty in a pastry shell. And it's just one of those things where it's good if it's you eat it by, if you're just walking around and it's small enough. You can eat it while you're walking, or what is even better, it's on a plate with some extra gravy on there. It's just one of those things. It's a good comfort food for myself and Ken.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. I was actually talking to my friends the other day, and they were talking about what our favorite pies were. And a lot of them were saying, oh, my favorite pie is pumpkin pie or apple pie or lemon meringue pie. And I just said, my favorite pie, easily number one, is chicken pot pie. Now, some other people might like, maybe Jeff doesn't like, well, I'm sure he likes chicken pot pie. I'm not sure.
Oh, I do.
Favorite,
no, it's good.
But he might put beef on top of chicken or something like that.
I don't know.
So it's a tough one, right? And then my second favorite pie is like a shepherd's pie. So, I mean, like the fruit pies are kind of far back. I love fruit pies, but when it comes to other stuff like that, I'm all about the savory, hearty pies.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And one of the best places in Toronto and GTA is called the Pie Commission. They were, if you I'm just reading off their contact, they're basically two friends, Pat and Mike, and they both came from the UK and Australia. I'm not too sure which is from which, and they became friends. I'm not too sure if they became friends in Toronto, but they just were missing out. They both found out there was no good meat pies in Toronto, so they took upon themselves to start making pies themselves. And hence came forth the Pie Commission. And they have, there it is, the website right there. And so they offer hot pies when you get to the restaurant. And then, but they also have frozen or even just cooled down pies. So frozen pies have the raw dough where you bake them off at 350 for so many minutes. And then the cool pies, you just reheat gently and then, and enjoy.
That is spectacular. I didn't know that. Well, first of all, I've never eaten at the Pie Commission, but I just thought you just buy pies there. But the fact that you could actually get the frozen ones and bake them at home, or the pre-cooked that are cooled down, that is pretty cool.
It is.
If you want to bring something to a party or just have something for later on, you could just get it and then either bake it. And then you could say, I baked the pie, right?
Oh, yeah, it is exactly right.
Bake this pie.
Bake this pie, do the wheat and everything else. Yeah,
exactly. Or you just heat it up, which is pretty cool. And so now, do they have a menu on the line here? Yeah,
they do. Scroll down there. So look at these different menus. So we got braised beef pie with beer. Braised beef pie, beef and beer, which is self-explanatory. Buttered chicken, which is one I had. I'll get more into that. Chicken mushroom pot pie, vegetarian, of course, vegetarian, and also pulled pork pie. And as you can see, they also offer sausage rolls because, when you're making pies, they do have extra dough. So might as well use it up, get some ground meat in there, make some sausage rolls. Why not?
Cool thing about the sausage rolls is, as I say before in other podcasts, I love the walk and eat. Yeah. And so these pies, you could technically walk and eat them, but you probably want to sit down with a fork.
Yeah, exactly.
But the
right.
sausage rolls, you could just walk around with them if you want to, and they do offer dessert pies. It looks like. Yeah. Oh, little guy. This is 5 inches. Serves 1 to 2 people, so probably 2.
Dessert.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then they have a seasonal menu. I'm not too sure. They don't really list what it is. Oh yeah, I scroll down again, Ken. As you can see, there's baking instructors.
Yeah. So if you bought a frozen pie, it tells you how to bake it. That's pretty cool, but it actually says click here for the seasonal pie menu. So let's have a peek.
Oh, does it? Okay, let's see that. Let's go. Let's see what it is.
There's a lot of the same stuff. They have a jerk chicken. They have a steak, smoky steak and cheese. Usually that's a Stilton when it's a steak and cheese. Does it say here?
I think you're right. Usually it is.
Oh, this one's
Uh,
mozzarella. Typically, though, like when you go to like an English pub or British pub, it's usually a blue steak and Stilton cheese. They have a peppercorn roast beef pie,
mhm.
pork roll, which is just before the sausage roll, sweet potato masala. I believe
uh,
that's a vegetarian, right?
Vegetarian. So they have two vegetarian options: Vegelicious and the sweet potato masala.
Pretty cool. Pretty
That
cool.
is
Yeah.
good.
So if I remember correctly,
All right.
so you got the butter chicken. So let's just look at it. It's the tandoori marinated
Mm-hmm.
and roasted blend of chicken breast and thighs in a flavor packed sauce with chickpeas. Oh my.
Yes.
Cauliflower leeks and ginger. Super reasonable price point at
Oh,
$8.95 for a personal pie.
yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Actually, if you go up to the actual menu, so you close this menu here and you go up to the actual butter chicken. Now read that now.
Okay, so the ingredients in the butter chicken, the pastry is flour, butter, water, sugar, salt, egg, very basic and very nice.
Very.
Yep, the filling is chicken breast and thigh,
Mhm.
coconut milk, oh my,
Yes.
tomato, chickpeas, cauliflower, leeks, onion, curry powder, tandoori spice, coriander, cinnamon. Oh, that surprises me, the cinnamon. Various spices, including
Mhm.
garlic. I got to ask you, you're the chef, Jeff. Does that surprise you, the cinnamon, or not really?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. The cinnamon it helps bring out the flavor there. So close this window here,
Yep.
and then read that description of the butter chicken.
Oven roasted tandoori chicken breast and confit. Wow.
That's
Chicken
word.
leg. That's the
Yes.
confit.
Yes.
So for our friends that don't know what confit mean, what does that mean, Jeff?
Confit means that the chicken thigh was actually cooked in its own fat. It just like I said before, cooked in its own fat. So what they do, they take the chicken fat or schmaltz, they make it into a liquid form. They may add more oil just to extend it a bit, but then they poach, what's it called, oil poach or poach in its own fat. It's a confit method of cooking. So it only not only its flavor, but adds a bit more moisture to the actual meat. This in this term is chicken leg.
Absolutely. Now, as far as what's the difference between confit and like braising? Is there a difference there?
Oh yeah, braising basically is braising is in liquid, so like water. Oil is not a liquid. Oil is oil, and I know it sounds weird, but when you braise stuff, you want to put either braise it in stock or like in beer or alcohol. What you do, you brown off the meat and then submerge it in liquid and just let it go for like a very low boil or just simmering for an hour, 2 hours until it's nice and tender.
Yeah. So now the pie commission, we talked about what it is, but where is it, Jeff?
So there's two locations. The one location, the original location, is at Islington and the Queensway, and actually it was where we went for movies. I forgot the
Oh,
podcast number,
yeah, movie.
but we went to movies. That was where the Pie Commission used to be, but now they actually just moved up the street, literally up the street, across the street, basically. And this is their new location. Um, and it's a bigger location, I guess, because this picture, if when you get there, when you look to your left, there's a bigger building next to it that also says Pie Commission. So I guess that's where their actual bakery is, because this is just the storefront. This is where you get in to get your pies, whether they be fresh, cold, or frozen. But they guess they have to expand because popularity, and they have a bakery here. This is their original. This is their second location for the Toronto, but then they added a location at Square One as part of the food district, and that is just storefront. So I'm guessing the bakery that here, this location, supplies all the pies at Square One for their outlet location.
That makes sense. It's not too far either, which is pretty
No,
cool.
oh, not
And
at
I'm
all.
pretty happy for them that they had enough business even during the pandemic that they're able to expand. So that's
Oh,
pretty
for
neat.
sure, for sure.
Yeah. And so as
Um,
far as movies goes, I just did some research here. Movies is season 1, episode 29. Check it out
yeah,
because I'm going to remind you guys, season 2 or the end of season 1, we chose our best of, and Jeff picked one of these as one of his favorites for season 1. So you may want to check
that's
that
it.
out. Again, it's season 1, episode 29. So
Awesome.
something to think about there. And
There we
so
go.
so this is the new location, and Jeff's been to both or none, or just this one, Jeff?
I've only been to that one.
Okay.
When I was at the food district before pandemic, I did see it there, and I said, "Oh, good to know. I'll keep that in my mind for later."
Now, you mentioned before that these are two guys from Australia.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
And
sorry. One's from
so
Australia. One's from England.
oh, Oh, that's a great combination for pies, like
Yeah.
meat pies, isn't it? Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Now, there's another one. This is totally different from the pie commission. They're more, I've seen them in food courts, but they do hand pies. They're called, I think they're called Kanga. Do you remember them,
Kanga,
Jeff?
yes, I do.
Yeah.
There's actually a location right by on Richmond, in between Richmond Street and Queen Street. If you know Toronto, if you know where Much Music used to be or where City TV is, they were located right there. And I actually stopped by a couple of times when I was in the area, just because, like Ken said, they're very handheld. They're hand pies, so you know, get it and then go. And yeah, they were they were either an Australian or New Zealand pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget which one they are, but yeah, they were good too.
They were pretty good. I ran into them down at the Path back when
Okay.
I don't even know if the Path is still open, tell you the truth.
Yeah,
But,
yes and no.
yeah. So the Path, that's that underground pathway that a whole bunch of people used to use before the lockdowns and stuff. But now I think I don't know. Maybe they are released. Who knows?
Yeah, I've been down there for a bit. But yeah, so if you go back to the pie commission menu, so I've had most of these pies before. And Ken, I'll make sure that next time I go, I'll get some stuff for you as well. Braised beef I've had. Oh, sorry. Back to the butter chicken pie, the one I had. I was really surprised on how delicious this tasted. I was at first I thought it was a bit dry when I opened it. So if you go to the picture of it, Ken, if you can.
I will, of course. So I think
at first I thought it was a bit dry, but the more I ate into it, it was really moist. And so that's what it looks like before I open it up. I love the logo they have, you know, a good old English bowler hat and the mustache.
Great branding. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
And then if you the next picture, Ken, where it's open. Yeah, as I said, because I opened it and there's not much moisture, I thought it would be a bit dry, but it wasn't. The confit duck chicken leg helped moisten it up. And the incredible, when you think butter chicken, I never think of coconut milk like this one does. I guess they were just experimenting with different flavors, and this coconut milk and the tomato curry just added everything to it. It still had the butter chicken flavor to it, but the coconut milk just enhanced it and made it nice and moist. It was a delicious pie overall.
Tell us about the crust.
Oh, yeah. Like Ken and I, we mentioned before, we're a big fan of the crust. You know, it's the vessel that starts the meal off, and the crust I found was delicious. You know, it's flaky and buttery, and it held everything together. It was nice. It was a nice accompaniment to the actual meat inside the pie. Yeah.
And so you could tell just by looking at this picture, and if you can't find, if you're just listening on audio, you can either catch it on our Instagram feed or the video on YouTube. You can tell just by looking at it is that the pie crust. You can tell by looking at it that it tastes good because there's a flakiness to it. And there's certain times when you look at a meat pie and you're thinking, just because that crust doesn't look that appetizing, you're kind of prepared that it's not going to be good. But this really, really looks good.
I know.
Very flaky, looks very buttery. So very, very good.
And look at the filling. The filling is very generous with meat. You know, hence the name. It is a meat pie because there is a lot of meat in there.
Absolutely. So let's have a look at their Instagram feed. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's really gravy on this. Feed. Yeah.
Yeah, so their Instagram feed will be put up on our show notes along with everything else. But look, they have a mac and cheese pie or something like that.
Oh, that must be okay. That must be part of the seasonal menu that we didn't see, but that looks good.
Yeah, actually, it is. It's does it even say? Oh, beef brisket mac and cheese. Oh, that's what that is. Oh my!
All right,
this is one of those places that I wish was like next door, and like every week or every twice a week, I'd go and get a pie. Right?
Try that.
This one look. Oh my god! This is a sweet pie, maple walnut chocolate butter tart.
Whoa, okay.
I'll say that again for those of you that may have missed it. Maple walnut chocolate butter tart. And Jeff, actually I like them too, but Jeff and Diana, they love their butter tarts. So this, and this one's, I mean, this is not like a tart. I mean, this is a large pie. You could see the pig. Look at that. Look at all that.
The gooiness.
It's over his finger there. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Yeah. So we could spend all day looking at the.
Oh yeah, we could.
Looks like. So we invite you to look. I gotta do this one because this one looks like there's lasagna inside or something like that. Yeah, pasta bolognese is back.
Oh, all right.
Interesting. So
okay.
Yeah. So like I said, we can keep going further, but that is the pie commission. I want you to rate your pie, Jeff. This pie right here, the butter chicken.
I'm going to rate all the pies I've had. Like I said before, I've had the braised beef. I've had the beef and beer. Um, and I think I've had the chicken and mushroom pie. I can't remember if I had it or not. But all their pies, if you look at this pie and if you imagine either beef or chicken, it's the same quantity of filling as this butter chicken pie. Their pies are just packed with the actual meat and whatever veg accompanies with it. But I'm giving these pies 9s across the board. They're so delicious. The crust is just buttery. It's flaky and tastes good as well. And then the filling inside is always top notch.
Now, you've tasted a number of their pies.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any pies that you want to try that you haven't tried yet?
Well, the ones that we just saw on their Instagram, the mac and cheese, and then the pasta bolognese one. I guess I have to look at their seasonal menu more often, and so I can make sure, or their Instagram, so I know when they're coming up with these awesome pies. Which one's this?
This one, it says jerk chicken butter chicken. Okay, so I don't know.
So maybe for me, I won't have that one. I'm not a big jerk fan, but yeah. So I'll, and of course, I'll have to bring home a butter tart pie for myself and Diana to share.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was surprised that you didn't mention that. So I'm going to say it again: maple walnut chocolate butter tart.
Nice.
That sounds so good. Whew. That is the Pie Commission. Once again, they are on the Queensway.
Yeah, Queensway and Islington, or the food court, the food district at Square One. Yeah,
and they do catering.
They do.
So something to think about, right? You know. So, and then we went to a place. I don't want to describe super. It has a reputation. This place, doesn't it, Jeff?
It does. If you're from Scarborough, you should know this place. It's very well known in the Scarborough area, and it's East Court Barbecue.
Yeah, or sometimes called Mike's East Court Barbecue.
Mike's,
yeah. And so they're basically traditional Chinese style barbecue. So if you don't know, what is that, Jeff? For those that may not know.
Chinese style barbecue is basically, if you scroll down, Ken, you might see this in food courts, or if you go to an Asian market, you might see these ducks hanging or pieces of pork hanging. Basically, it's a method where they especially dry the meat, and then they add various spices, where it'd be a dry rub or a wet rub, and let it hang more for the flavors to intensify. And then they barbecue it either flat, or in this case, you can see it's hanging by the wires the ducks are. So they barbecue it that way, almost like rotisserie. But in this sense, it's actually just hanging straight up and down.
Oh, so they're actually cooked that way? I just thought they cook them and hang them.
No. Most times that's how they cook it.
I didn't know that.
But some kitchens don't have that capacity, so then they will have to barbecue it the traditional way as well.
Gotcha. So a place like this is not for vegetarians.
No,
it's not one of those places, because they'll serve. I mean, those of you that aren't watching this, we have their website up. You could order a whole pig. Okay. Yes. I mean, we're not joking around when we're talking about this is nice, awesome barbecue. If you're Filipino, you may fondly call this lechon.
Yep.
And, of course, we love our roast duck. We love everything about this place.
It's good. Awesome place. Yeah. That's good.
And so they are a Shepherd and Brimley area. So they're
close to perfect, which we've mentioned before as well.
Absolutely. And so they say, visit us on Instagram. Let's just pull up their Instagram feed.
Let's do it.
And I will say is that when you go into this place, be aware that actually I'll pull up this picture right here, because this is actually inside their store on their Instagram feed. When you go in, this is a cash only place. I don't know if they've changed since the pandemic, but I believe they're cash only.
No,
I went in. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I went 2 weeks ago, and it's September. So I went in late August 2021, and it was still cash only.
Yeah, I went I remember I went for Christmas to pick up some roast pork for our Christmas dinner, and it was a cash only thing. Yeah. So just be aware of that. There are ATMs around, but just go in with cash, right? And you can pre-order. You are able to pre-order. I don't know if you knew that, Jeff, but you can pre-order.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything official on their website on pre-ordering, but you call it in.
Yeah. Actually, if you look at that, see the counter, see that light blue sticker?
Yes.
It's the sort of Asian Uber Eats. I'm not too sure what they call themselves, but if you go to like Scarborough or Richmond Hill, you'll see a lot of these places which have these stickers, and it's basically their version of Uber Eats, but specifically only for Asian food. I know it's weird. I don't know why Uber isn't picking this up or anything like that, but that's their sort of Uber Eats Asian style.
Oh, so they have their own app and everything, whatever
They
this
do.
thing is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I know.
I wonder if it's in English. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something to think about. So we've been here a number of times over the years. And so what's interesting is when I went to pick up some food for Christmas dinner, I noticed, I'm going to pull up their menu here. Where is it? Here, is it this one? Actually, we got to go this way. Yeah. So pull up their menu. We'll go this way.
There we go.
Yeah, oops. I'll pull up their menu here, and I did not realize, I just thought you just take food and leave with it. But they offer lunches. They offer meals. We're talking about, pork and rice and some veg, all sorts of stuff. And it was one of those situations where I couldn't decide whether I wanted roast pork or roast duck. And I got a combo with this one. I think it was C, crispy barbecue pork duck with rice. This is what I got because I didn't have to decide. I ended up getting both, which was super, super yummy. So I remember that's where I was. This is back in probably sometime in the winter time. I walked over and got it. Nice. And then you went, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So much different. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
So, great looking menu, Filipino style lechon. This is the picture that I took here. Look, this is definitely not a place for vegetarians, but if you are in to roast pork or, crispy pork or crispy duck, or do they offer chicken? Maybe they offer chicken.
No, I don't. They might offer either soy chicken or barbecue chicken. But like Ken said, it's not for vegetarians, but in their lunches, you can tell in this picture that they do serve vegetables. But like most of these places, it's the same vegetable. It might be like bok choy ends, maybe some broccoli, but it's all like boiled and sautéed in a sauce.
Yeah.
And then the rice, they always have a pot of rice going or saved. And then they have the sauce that goes on top of either the duck or the pork as well, or on the side.
Yeah, it's a simple place, but it's a super popular place that makes awesome food. And I didn't notice this, Jeff, but look at that. They have an egg on the menu here. See that?
Yeah,
so just imagine egg, rice, and lechon, or egg. Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah. If you go to the pictures, Ken, let's go. Yeah, that's the menu. There you go. So the hanging ducks.
Yeah.
Right there. And look, it's smiling at us.
Yeah. And so if you don't recognize that particular quote, that is from one of actually Jeff's favorite Christmas movie, Christmas Story. He watches it many times each year when it comes when it's Christmas time. And at the end, they were serving a duck with its head on. Yeah. And so you guys may remember that scene, but it is smiling. So
and it was filmed in Toronto. It was filmed in Toronto, that scene.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that. Yeah. Like Chinatown, something like that? Maybe?
Yeah, on Spadina.
Yeah. So be prepared if this stuff makes you squeamish, and it can make some people squeamish. We totally get that. Maybe either avert your eyes or I don't know, send someone else to go get the food.
Yeah, someone else ordered. So go to the next picture, Ken.
Yeah.
So that's the ducks over here.
So we got some hanging ducks with the heads on, and then we got some looks like some pork here. Yeah,
we've got barbecue pork on the right, and then some pieces of the roasted pork on the left there.
So the barbecue pork. So this would be like, would this be like a char-siu, Jeff?
Char-siu
pork?
Yeah.
Char-siu. So char-siu, you could pick up char-siu, like even in Costco, you could pick up char-siu. Just kind of, it'd be kind of expensive if you picked it up there. You'd better off picking it up here.
Oh yeah.
Or a place, not here, but a place like this.
Yes, exactly right.
So you're not going to get necessarily the crispiness from a char-siu pork, but you're going to get a definite Asian flavor profile that's very sweet and salty. I don't know how else to explain it.
That sounds right. Sweet and salty, and right there.
That's a type of pork that I love both types. I love the roast pork with the crispy skin, but I also love the char-siu styled. And you can get that at like Chinese buffets. You can get it at Chinese restaurants. They would call it. They may not call it char-siu. They may call it barbecue pork there.
Yeah, just barbecue pork that's it.
Something to think about. Super yummy though. Actually, I haven't had some in a while. Actually, I think
So like Ken said, if you're squeamish, so this picture you can't really see it clearly, but in the very back, those are there might be a whole pig that's just being brined and dried, waiting to be roasted. Oh no, those are just regular. Oh yeah,
No, but
oh yeah, right there. I think that big piece.
yeah,
Oh,
this one
that's
here.
half a pig. Yeah,
That's
it's half
half
a
a pig
pig.
right there.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. This might be chicken legs on the
that's
left here,
chicken
but
legs
these
there
are
too. Yeah.
ducks. There's ducks, and then if we move over,
Oh, there
these
they
ones
go.
aren't. These are the ducks. Quite not quite roasted yet.
No.
Again, it's a little squeamish if you're not ready
Yeah.
for this, but they have their heads on there.
Oh yeah.
Ah, now why is that, Jeff?
Well,
Like,
it's part of the Asian cooking and most cultures where they eat everything. They don't let anything go to waste.
yeah,
So they will find like chicken feet. Like the Chinese people love to eat it, so they will find a purpose for it. So that's why they offer
absolutely.
the whole duck, including heads, to their customers.
Now, I don't imagine I find that particularly appetizing because is there any meat on the head there or?
Not really,
Yeah,
but they do have it. I guess they just add it on. People
yeah.
want
'Cause
it.
if people want it, yeah, I think you're better off chopping the head off and sticking it and boiling it and making a stock out of it.
Yeah,
That's what I would imagine. But
exactly right.
you know what? I'm not the cook here, so that they are. So actually, oh, there we go. Next picture. So this is the
Ah,
picture that Jeff picked up. He said, "Let's pick up some lechon for." I don't even remember what the dinner was for. Was it for Dad's birthday? I can't
it
remember.
was Dad's birthday. Yeah, it was August. So yeah.
So it was Dad's birthday, and so got. I told him actually. I didn't. I kind of gave him an idea. I said, "Hey, listen, get pork and get the duck, and
Yes.
that's what he get." And now, if you are getting invited to a party and there's some carnivores there, if you
Yes.
come in with this, like you are gonna be everyone's favorite
Oh
because
yeah,
there's some good food there.
for
Yeah,
sure, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, it's so good.
yeah,
So yeah, so
delicious.
we got the I think the pork's on top. No, pork's on the bottom and duck's
Pork's
on
on the bottom,
top.
duck's on top.
Yeah.
Now, as we were eating this, you kind of thought that the duck was kind of bony and dry. Was that what you
Yeah,
said?
I guess I got some of the breast meat, which has a lot of the rib part of it. But fortunately for Ken, he got the most of the leg and thigh meat, which only has one main bone that goes through.
Yeah, and it was good. I found it very juicy, and I
Yeah.
found it very flavorful. The duck, what happened with the duck, and that's the one on top here, was as it's sitting, and you got a pound or something of it, right?
Yeah.
That's how it worked out. So you get a pound, and they measure it out, and then they charge you whatever, kind of like going to a butcher, right? And then, but while it was sitting there, all of its juices kind of gathered on the bottom. You can't see it in the
Mhm.
picture, but as we were eating, so what I would do is I would, as the duck went down, those juices on the bottom were exposed, and I would take the pork and dip it in that duck gravy or duck juice, which
Nice.
made it taste so much better.
Yeah.
Super, super tasty. So I would highly recommend this. Now, if you just order these two things, you're gonna have to come home, and if you don't, if you don't have rice at home, either cook some
Yeah.
rice, or you can just have this with like some nice soft rolls. Man, that would be a good meal.
Oh, yeah, the pandesal.
Yeah,
Some
or
of that.
even just if you don't have pan de sal, it could just be any soft bread
Yeah,
that you could just
exactly
have
right.
that with. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
super good.
like I mentioned with the duck and chicken, they will cut it for you. Same with the pork, but they'll make it into bite-sized pieces. Again, because that's the Asian way. They want to make sure that the whole family is fed. So, whereas in North America, they usually serve like the whole drumstick with the thigh or both. So when you order the duck, you can order it to just say "don't cut," and they'll respect this. Okay, and they'll give it to you whole. So that way, when you get home, you could carve it yourself and make sure that you have a drumstick by itself and the thigh, and then just carve the bone away from the breast of the white meat for the duck, and just so you have more control on your pieces.
Yeah, that's good to know. I never even thought of that. Of course, it's less work for them, right? If you just
Yeah,
tell them they don't want it to cut, right? So
exactly right.
very, very good. Yeah,
Actually, can you go back on the website? Are you there or
yeah, I can go
I'm
back to their
just yeah.
website. Let's see this one.
Same
Yep,
page. Oh, then go to news. Go to news. I apologize. Thank you.
news.
There you go. So yeah. So like I said,
Wow.
so they have an oven. As you can see, the pigs are on wires, and that's the roasting oven. So it is hung up. So as it as it roasts, the juices will go to the bottom, so it makes the meat crispier.
So those of you that aren't watching, All right, so what we're seeing here is like it's an oven that's probably the size of like a large fridge, you
Yeah.
know, and and then they're hanging the meats in there. These ones are look like baby pigs because they're smaller
Yeah.
pigs, but it looks like it's large enough to incorporate a whole pig if they wanted to.
Hmm.
And then they're hanging those in there, and then they just shut the door and then just bake it that way. So
Yep.
it's not like they're on a rack or anything. It's
No.
just open air sort of situation. And I can recognize that many restaurants, and you certainly wouldn't be able to do this at home unless you had an oven like that. I mean, it just
Yeah.
wouldn't work out.
Too
So
true. Too true.
yeah, I'm glad that you pointed that out so that
Yeah.
you're trying to describe it earlier. And
I was.
so
Yeah.
how old is Mike's? They've been around forever and a day, it seems.
Yeah. It's like when we were kids, they were still
Yeah.
around.
Just to give you an idea, Jeff and I are in our 40s and 50s. So
Yeah.
when we were kids, it was quite a long time ago.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I have friends that live in Scarborough, and they remember Mike's too. So yeah. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go back to the pictures here. So that's what we had when Jeff brought it over, the large
yeah.
size. If here's the lunch
Oh,
portion,
that's it.
rice. I just had cabbage. Like I don't know what
Okay.
veg they had behind there. I ate
All right.
it. It tasted good.
Yeah.
I think it was cooked in. It was real salt. It tasted meaty. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
cooked in milk juice.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
probably
So,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. So for you vegetarians out there, don't have the veg.
Yeah, don't have their veg at least. Yeah, so
That's right.
that's what we had. Let's and before we kind of let things go, let's look at their Instagram feed because they have an awesome Instagram feed. I mean, look at
Oh
this.
yeah.
Like, whoever's doing their branding on Instagram, they're doing a pretty good job because
Oh
when you
yeah.
go into this place, it looks very, very basic. I'm going to put a picture up. This place is like you go in, there's a counter, and that's it. I mean,
That's
this
it.
there's no sitting down. It's never been that way.
No,
It's always meant
exactly
to
right.
go. Yeah. So my goodness, this is a very colorful looking meal here. Crispy
Yeah.
roast pork and char on rice, ginger scallions. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
with sauce, so crispy. Look at that. My
That's
goodness.
delicious.
Yeah, it wasn't until I realized that they actually serve meals instead of rice, veg, and meats that I decided to actually try that out, and I'm glad that I
Hmm.
did. I'm gonna give their meal an 8 out of 10. I'll give it an 8 out
Yeah.
of 10. And
All
so
right.
when I say the meal, I'm talking about this one right here.
The one you had.
And I just basically I walk there, which is kind of a far walk.
It is. Yeah. I'm impressed.
Yeah. So I walked there, ate it, walked back, and it was kind of cold out, so I ate it really, really fast, but I loved it. It was
Nice.
I was so happy with that. But Jeff, what are you going to give a rating on?
I'll give this 8.5 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, for me, it was just the way the duck was cut, but that's on me as well. I could have ordered uncut. But yeah, overall, they're very consistent with their pricing and their taste as well. Can't go wrong.
Do you remember their pricing, Jeff? Just so that we can, just for people are wondering.
Off the top of my head, I think so. There was a half pound, or was it a pound?
Looks like a pound.
Yeah, so it's a pound of duck and a pound of roast pork. And in fact, when I said pound of duck, he said half duck. I went, okay, sure. It came to $30, so $15 a pound roughly.
Yeah, and that would be including tax. So
Oh yeah,
so that's to be aware of that. I remember thinking it was between $10 and $12 a pound,
yeah.
depending on whether you get the pork or the duck. Or I've never ordered their char pork. I've never had their
Okay.
barbecue pork. So something to think about. You give them an 8; they deserve 8s because it's really. Or would you say 8.5, Jeff?
8.5. Yeah,
8. You give them 8.5. It's really, really good food. They deserve it. They
do.
deserve it. It's some place that we're gonna go on that we're gonna go on a consistent basis, because they just offer really, really good food, and so we will be
Yes.
returning. And
Oh yeah.
now this one, I can't highlight it more. We highly, highly suggest this. And so we had some beautiful, beautiful meals, great meals, and great places that we reviewed this week. Again, the Pie Commission, and
Mhm.
this is savory pies, right? This is not
Yes.
for apple pie, blueberry pie, none of that. No, we're talking about nice, hearty pies. And it seems like just about any pie there. If you're into meat pies, you're going to enjoy. Super moist, super tasty. The crust is really flaky, delicious.
Beautiful.
What was the rating you gave it? Was it 9, Jeff?
9. Yeah. Nine for all the pies that I've had. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
he's had at least 3 that I can think of that he's had there. 9. And then we got the Mike's Far East BBQ. All of the, whether it's a pie commission or Mike's Far East, all of their information, including Instagram websites, are all going to be in the show notes. But that was this week, And, before I let Jeff sign us off, I'm going to just ask you something super simple, super easy. If you're getting value from our podcast, whether you're just finding it entertaining or you're finding our recommendations useful, and especially this week, we hope you do, then we invite you to like, subscribe, share, or comment. Leave us a review wherever you're seeing this, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I'm not even sure if you can leave reviews on Spotify, but at least give us a like or whatever. And because, it's a really easy way and a simple way for you to support our podcast and to do so for free. Isn't that right, Jeff?
That is right. That's right. And again, if you have any ideas for us to try, let us know as well. But remember this quote from Julia Child: people who love to eat are always the best people.
Yes, and that, of course, includes my brother, Chef Jeff Santos, and I'm his brother, Kenny Santos, and you as well, if you love to eat food worth mentioning. All right, thanks a lot, everybody.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
You've been listening to Santos Brothers Eat.
Food worth mentioning.